Hello, you are tuned into the Red Pill content of Welly F, aka Moriarty, where the mindset is you either die a villain or you live long enough to see yourself become a simp. Today's episode is brought to you by a subject that annoys me greatly. And the only reason it really annoys me is because I really feel like if the tables were turned, men wouldn't get away with this deception. And I actually know for a fact that there are certain things that men do and they get criticized for it simply just because they're just trying to make themselves better on the sexual marketplace. But this deception, which I consider witchcraft, modern day makeup, which has gone way too far. Yes, modern day makeup has gone too far, in my opinion, because let's just do a brief history on this. If you're looking at children from the 70s and 80s era that actually, you know, lived in households where parents actually were parents and guidelines were actually guidelines, we had boundaries 40, 30 years ago. Now it just kind of seems like nobody wants to step on anybody's toes. Everybody wants to make sure everybody's happy, blah, blah, blah. So now you have 9 and 10-year-olds wearing their full-fledged makeup at 9, 10 years old nowadays. Sometimes, you know, probably even younger, depending on how spoiled these kids are. You look back in the 20th century, and let's just be honest, your average 13, 14-year-old girl probably was wearing lip gloss, maybe eyeshadow. That's where we were in the 20th century. Now where we are, in my honest opinion, I think it is a twisted, distorted view of how a woman's face should look, how a person's face should look that is trying to capture a person's eyes by saying, I'm beautiful. A lot of times people never really sit back and think about what beauty really is. And when you think about beauty, beauty in a lot of ways is almost flawless. It gives the impression of youthfulness, and it's rare. And I think that today, with the advancements of makeup, it's safe to say that beauty really isn't rare anymore. Beauty simply can be copied and pasted. You have to understand something. You have to understand that makeup extends a woman's expiration date, specifically the expiration date of her youth and her beauty. Beauty fades. It's that simple. Beauty fades. But don't get it twisted. Makeup has been around forever. But in all honesty, the purpose of makeup was really to cover up blemishes and flaws. It eventually gravitated to the point of, okay, we can de-age you maybe 3 or 5 years. We can take about 3 or 5 years off your appearance. Now, you can take 50-year-olds and you could take 20 years off their appearance. And I ask people this question all the time. If 50-year-olds are striving to look like they're in their mid-20s and 30s, then what the hell are these 14 and 15-year-old girls striving for? I honestly feel like everybody clearly is trying to reach that sexual prime, which is between 21 and 27. Every woman is trying to go for that look. So therefore, if everybody's going for that look, and they're attaining that look now, because the witchcraft that is being displayed by modern day makeup artists, they're able to achieve this look. So not only are 50-year-old women and 15-year-old girls able to deceive men of all ages, it should give us an eye opener to how destructive this has become. This is feeding into pedo culture. This is feeding into transgenderism, drag queen culture, because once again, it is all deception. Makeup is no longer just makeup, it's transformation. Makeup artists are transformation artists. Because once again, they're literally shape shifting people's faces. That's how Instagram face became a thing. People no longer have to be who they are anymore. All they have to do is go see a makeup artist. A makeup artist has the ability to do the same thing that a plastic surgeon can do, but all they need is paint. You have to understand, man. This is not about men being shallow. Because at the end of the day, men are going to take what you give them as far as the beauty industry goes. Men follow the trends of the beauty industry, because if the beauty industry is saying, hey, men got to deal with fat women, these mangina simps will eventually start dealing with fat women. Because they're pussy bakers. They don't have no spine. A lot of these men are going to fold. I would say 80% of the men out there right now that are seeking a partner, I'd honestly say even maybe 90. 90% of men out there actively seeking a partner at one time in their lives made a big deal about makeup, but they don't make a big deal about it anymore, because that is how the engineering and the conditioning works. We have no real say-so about what constitutes beauty. You know, they say eye is in the beauty of the beholder. I mean, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I mean, once again, I mean, we just go with our best gut feeling. It's like, well, that makes my insides tingle. That makes my pee-pee get hard. She looks hot enough. She's doable. That's what most women are looking like. So why not? Because let's just be honest. Most women today are aiming for a particular look. It's always been like that with women in the Western world. There's always been, icons, beauty icons, and women, they'll put themselves in a position to kind of achieve that look, whether it was through how they dressed, a style, how they talked, how they walked. Nowadays, it's, I want to look like Kim Kardashian, so I'm going to shape shift and look like Kim Kardashian. I tell my partners all the time. In the black community, there is a specific look that you're going to see all the time now. And I'd say almost every woman can pull it off. You're going to see a woman with baby hair, a skin that almost looks flawless and unrealistic. She's going to have the French pouty lips, and she's going to make sure that you see some cleavage in her photos. And when you see the cleavage in her photos, once again, you'll see unblemished, unrealistic, flawless skin. And it's always going to have that caramel kind of mocha look to it, because that is the look that black women are going for these days. In the white community, it's different. They simply try to go for a look similar to that, but people just label it as an ethnic look. Because just being a pale white girl in America isn't cool anymore. Some people, the natural, rare, beautiful look is something that you're not going to see being championed a lot, due to the fact that everybody is trying to obtain one look, a particular look that is going to garner them the attention that they are seeking. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about getting the validation from society that you are beautiful. So if you see that this one person is perceived as beautiful by many, then what's the next best thing that a person can do today? They're going to try to look like that person. That's acceptable now. Being different, being odd, and truly standing out, that's a thing of the past now. Because, believe it or not, at one time, being different and being weird, you actually stood out. But what happened was, the society started to see a surplus in people that were weird, people that were different. And then eventually, everybody was weird and different. So if everybody's weird and different, nobody's weird and different. That's the same thing with the beauty industry. Everybody is going for this look. If you think about the 80s and 90s and post 21st century, post social media America, women that looked average had to look average. They had to maintain that average look because at the end of the day, that is who they were. The makeup advancements weren't like they are today. So if a woman looked average, she had to humble herself and continue to be average. A 4 was going to be a 4, a 5 was going to be a 5. They no longer have to do that now. A 4 or a 5 will see a huge ego boost when she goes to the right makeup artist or watches the right YouTube video and she applies that paint to her face the right way. She goes from a 4 to a 7 with the attitude of a dime. And this is what we're seeing today. A surplus of women that look and feel beautiful. When in the past, being beautiful was a natural, rare occurrence. This is why I say modern day makeup has gone too far, because it has created this illusion of women that look at themselves in the mirror and they see that they're beautiful. They start to truly believe that they're beautiful and they act like they're beautiful. When in all honesty, all it takes is a wet wipe and you can wipe all that crap off their face and you see who they really are. People don't like to talk about preference that much because to have a preference nowadays is seen as misogynistic, especially if you're a man. But as a man, if I wanted to reproduce with a woman and I'm looking for the woman with the most natural beauty, nice skin, long hair, pretty eyes, if I'm looking for that now, I almost probably have to wait a couple of months and hopefully get her in bed in order to see the real her to make sure that I'm going to be able to reproduce with the highest quality of female. But once again, nowadays, a woman can simply cover up her eczema. She can cover up her bad skin. She can cover up the fact that she has coarse hair. She can cover up the fact that she doesn't have good eyesight. You can cover up so much with the modern day beauty techniques. So therefore, in conclusion of all this, you have to understand that as a man, the playing field is uneven. The type of work we have to put in just to get a chick that is fake, just to get a chick that is being deceptive from the first day that we meet her. I mean, it is crazy out here. And just to make sure that you understand that I can relate to this, the last time I went on a date, the only reason I went on a date with a woman was because I saw her somewhere. Wasn't the greatest lighting, but it was good enough to where when I first saw her, we had conversation. I saw a nice skinned woman, she looked fairly slim, so on and so forth. And then when we actually got out and I actually saw her, I realized, I was like, dang, that chick must have had a waist trainer on. Oh man, her eyes don't look the same this time. Her hair looks a lot different. Her skin doesn't look as smooth. Because the day that I met her, she put more work in to create the illusion of her actually being beautiful. And since she had already baited me in, it's not like I could just pull up to her crib and burn out after I saw that I didn't like her. At that moment, the bait had already reeled me in. So I had to deal with what I had in front of me. And then, of course, after that date, she never saw me again. Because that's what we're doing these days. And it's I don't have to continue to deal with somebody that's lying to me. And in all honesty, if your look isn't the look that I fell for, and as time goes by, I start to see that layers of your mask start to fall off and your natural look is not the look that I want. Yeah, you can say this sounds shallow. I'm not calling these women ugly. All I'm saying is they don't possess the natural beauty that most men would like. And once again, I have a preference. I'm not about to lower my standard based on the fact that a woman does not want to keep up her appearance forever. I hear men I've heard men say this before. If I don't mind a chick wearing makeup, but she finna have to wear makeup all the time because that's what I want to see. A lot of men get to the point where they don't want the clown makeup to come off. Keep the clown makeup on. That's and I'd have to agree. Like I said, man, it's sad that we're seeing a surplus in something that once used to be rare. But just keep in mind that, you know, the beauty industry creates this obsession with youth that's what it used to be, but now I think it's just an obsession with a person thinking to themselves, I don't want to be this person anymore. So therefore, if I have the option to not be this person anymore that I don't like, and I could just go up the street and talk to a beauty specialist or a cosmetic specialist to shape shift me, to transform me, shit, why not? And it seems like it's pretty affordable these days, so it is what it is. But anyways, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Get Well Soon. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any feedback, for sure, get back at me. I think this is a conversation that may be continued another time. But yeah, it's always fun dropping these type of episodes. And as you see, the format is probably gonna be like this for a while. Don't know when I'll show my face again. I don't have makeup to wear. But anyways, until we meet again.